welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a video on postpartum. Just a little disclaimer, in this video I am going to be talking about weight gain, probably some graphic things, wounds, liquids, I don't know. I'm not sure what's going to come out of this video, but just a disclaimer, it's going to get personal. I am going to be showing my body at one point, and if that's something that you don't want to see or you're not interested in, then I've got other videos you can watch. Don't forget to like and subscribe, that would be amazing. And if you check out my Instagram as well, because I'm super active over there, give me a follow and send me a DM. I'm gonna go make myself a coffee. One, because I'm absolutely knackered. The baby kept me up a little. Not even the baby, to be fair, I just don't sleep very well anymore. I'm sure other mums will know how that feels. So I'm gonna go make a coffee. I'll be back. Coffee made. I need some energy. So the reason I want to do this video mainly is because no one really talks about postpartum and what happens to your body once you've had a baby, because especially like I thought your body just kind of goes back to normal, but actually it changes so much. And I think it's important for women to know that your body does change. It doesn't look at all like it used to. Some women bounce back straight away and look like they've never had a baby, which, you know, look, that's the look of the draw for some people. And then for a lot of people, their body literally doesn't even look like their own anymore. And that, for one, is me. I really believe that social media pushes out positive body image, be positive about your body, you look amazing, whatever, blah, blah. But actually, and then it kind of makes you feel like you should be happy with how your body looks after having a baby. And I didn't feel that way. I think it takes time to adjust to the new you. You know, I had these huge, I've got these, these might not be bad stretch marks compared to some women, but for me, to not having any to having loads, it was a massive change. And to have this pouch that I've got that literally hangs over, and to have big hips now, why can't I be upset about that? I have the right to be upset about how my body looks, and I know it's gonna, well, I accept it now, and I'm okay with it. Obviously I want to change it, which is also okay, but I shouldn't feel pressured into being happy with how I look because I grew a human. Yes, I did, and I'm so happy I did, and I would do it all over again then. But give me time to adjust to how my body looks, and I think it's okay to not be happy straight away. So to start with, I'm going to talk about my postpartum experience. I ended up having an emergency C-section, so this, my postpartum is obviously going to be different to women that have had vaginal births. So I ended up having to have an emergency C-section, which means I had an incision cut at the lower end of my abdomen where the baby came out of, and obviously that's major surgery. They cut through absolutely every single layer of your body, fat, muscle, tissue, you know, and then to get to your uterus. So obviously, like normal, I still bled. You bleed, every woman will bleed after having a baby. I think mine only lasted, I think 2 weeks, maybe like majority of the bleeding was for a week, and then on and off for another week after that, like up and down, and then it just stopped. The biggest part that was hardest for me for postpartum was recovering from the C-section. So because it's major surgery, they tell you to relax, you know, don't do any heavy lifting for, I think it's 6 weeks till you have your postpartum checkup. It was like I was carrying my organs on the outside of my body. Obviously I have no, even now 5 months down the line, I have no sensation around my scar at all. Like even the bottom of my stomach, I don't really have much sensation there. My wound healed really well. I didn't have any infection. Looks good now, like it's still, like it's gone to that healing stage where it's like purpley colour now. And it's a lot smaller than I thought. Like, I think maybe the incision's about that big. So I think for the first week, I was unable to really move at all. I was hobbling around, literally hobbling, getting out of bed like a snail. Honestly, it was like, and when you've got a newborn, you know, and they wake up every hour for a feed, not being able to move, it's pretty difficult. And then to top the whole postpartumness off, I ended up having some complications, or what I thought was complications after having the baby. So if you've had a C-section, the risk of getting a blood clot increases. So you end up having to inject yourself with enoxaparin injections, so blood thinning injections, for 2 weeks after you've had your surgery. So that's another thing added on to the healing process. I ended up having to stab myself with a needle for 2 weeks, which wasn't comfortable at all. The day after having him, experienced some chest pain while I was in hospital and shortness of breath. They checked me over, didn't think anything of it, so they thought it was fine, so I went home. The next morning I woke up, still had the chest pain, still breathless, so I ended up ringing 111, who then came out and checked me over, and I had some ECG changes, which is the electrodes to check your heart, and something popped up on that, so I had to then go in, did all these checks, had a scan, a chest x-ray, that came up a bit funky, so they thought maybe I had COVID, but I didn't because I had a negative test. Then I had to come back the next day and have like a CT scan where they gave me some toxic medication to check out if I had a blood clot, because that's what we were querying, if I had a blood clot in my lung. Postpartum, the initial couple of weeks, is not easy at all. Obviously mine was cesarean related. I know a lot of friends that have had really tough postpartum periods after having a vaginal birth, from having stitches to other things that happen when you have a baby vaginally, which obviously I didn't experience. After a week I felt a bit back to normal, like I wasn't in pain or anything. And then within 2 weeks I felt pretty much back to normal, so I started kind of picking things up. But even after 2 weeks, even though it was healed perfectly fine and I felt like quite fine within myself, just going for a walk up and down the street would make me breathless after 10-15 minutes. It's not easy. Postpartum's not an easy ride for both vaginal or cesarean births. Obviously when you have a vaginal birth, you have to really look after yourself down below. I know it can be really sore for a really long time, and I wasn't allowed to have a bath for 6 weeks. I could only have showers. I had to make sure I constantly kept it dry to make sure to reduce the risk of infection. Other postpartum things that I'm still experiencing now, 5 months down the line, is the joint pain that I've experienced. The pain in my knees that I get now is so uncomfortable. If I've stayed in this position for too long, same position for too long, if I've had my knees bent for too long, it's really painful stretching them out. I thought there was something wrong with me. Turns out it can be quite normal, especially with all the hormones, the huge surge of hormones after you've had your baby. Obviously the hormone relaxin gets released into your body when you're pregnant to loosen everything up, ready for all the stretching. So that is what's happened with that. So the pains in my knees is horrendous. I'm hoping that'll settle down at some point. Hair loss, I haven't really experienced a huge deal of hair loss. The only hair loss that I have really noticed is on the side of my head. So that's thinned out quite a fair bit. Sorry, I'm looking at the viewfinder. Which again, I think a lot of women experience hair loss around the sides of the head. So other things body-wise that has changed is my boobs. Obviously they've lowered, which is normal. I did breastfeed I did breastfeed for the first 3 days, so they were massive. Then obviously now they're gone. Again, the changes to my boobs haven't really bothered me. I am sad they're not big anymore, but I think really for me that's it. The big thing about being postpartum is the huge change in your body. I sailed through my pregnancy with barely any stretch marks. I had a couple of stretch marks on my hips and I was getting them a little bit on my bum cheeks, but that was it really. I got to 40 weeks and I thought, yes, I'm gonna be one of these lucky women that don't get stretch marks. And then literally I had the baby and the next minute I knew I was covered in stretch marks. Belly, hips, bum, like even in between my bum crack, I've got stretch marks. My thighs, my calves, like out of nowhere, they just appeared. And I think that happens to a lot of women. I've spoken to some friends that went through the whole pregnancy with no stretch marks and then out of the blue, they appeared and they were covered in them. I don't know if it's something to do with labour and all the like contractions, stretching your skin, I have no idea, or the dramatic change in the baby's position, but they literally came out of nowhere. I am going to insert a clip of my body so you can see the changes. This is my body postpartum. In my clothes you can see, you know, I wasn't slender anyway, but I've definitely got this bit. I still look pretty much 5 months pregnant, 5 months postpartum, which is okay. And then this is my stomach. This is my stomach. Stretch marks all the way around here, which is, I had small ones like this when I was pregnant, but they definitely appeared, lift that roll up, definitely appeared more once I had the baby. And then, trying to get a good angle, and then this is my stomach. Right, and as you can see, it does hang over. If I pull down anymore, you're gonna see. And then that is the scar for anyone that wants to know how big they are. It's tiny. So yeah, stretch marks and a mum pouch, and I know within time the stretch marks will fade and I won't really be noticeable. The weight gain, I put weight on when I was pregnant, that is completely normal. I put about 2 stone on, which I think from what I was reading online, that is a normal amount to gain if you're having a singleton pregnancy, which I did have. And then having him, I lost a stone and now I'm a stone heavier. Don't mind sharing my weight with you guys. So before I was pregnant, I did weigh 10 stone 7, 10 stone 8, fluctuated a couple of pounds. That for me was still classed as overweight because I am short, I'm 5'2", well 5'1.5", 5'2". So according to my BMI, I was technically overweight already. And since being pregnant and having the baby, I'm now 11 stone 10, I think. Gained a stone and a bit, which for me it is really obvious because I am so short. Obviously to some people that's not a huge weight, but for someone that's my stature and my height, it's really noticeable. As well as the weight gain, obviously your body just widens anyway. Your hips are bigger because they just grow naturally when you're pregnant, so my hips are wider. Obviously I've just got weight gain everywhere. And to be honest, this is why I'm doing this video, because I want people to know what happens during the postpartum period, what will happen to you, what may happen to you, it might not. You might be one of these people that bounce back pretty quick, and if you are, that's amazing, and if you're not, then that's absolutely fine as well. It doesn't matter. You grew a baby for 9 months. It took 9 months for your body to change and grow, so it takes that plus longer for everything to calm down and go back to normal. And people shouldn't be pressured or feel pressured into bouncing back. You've got a new baby to look after, like that is where all your time's going to be. You know when you're ready, and I feel ready, and the reason why I feel ready, the moment that clicked in my brain when I knew that I wanted to make it a change, was I finally decided to shave down there because I was trying to take an Instagram photo, like a C-section baby photo, and I obviously didn't want my hair everywhere, so I shaved. And I'm telling you, it was a huge struggle. Women that have had C-sections probably notice it a lot more because of your scar, but I think every postpartum mummy will have it, is a little pouch. And like, I can even grab my pouch, it's that pouchy. The pouch is a pain. The pouch is a pain. The pouch is the reason why I couldn't see my vagina to shave it. So I don't think the pouch will ever go, but I'm hoping to the pouch in a little bit. So I hope this video has helped you to understand a little bit what postpartum's like. It's not easy breezy. You're not gonna snap back instantly. It's hard. It is hard. Let's not lie about it. It's hard. You've got to look after a baby and look after you while you're healing, and it's exhausting. But now I look back, I'm 5 months postpartum, now I look back, I can't really remember any of it, and that just shows how quickly time flies by. My next video next Wednesday is going to be a 3 to 6 month morning routine, because I asked on Instagram what people would rather see first, a morning routine or a bedtime routine, and the winner was morning routine. And to be honest, it only won by 1 point. It's been 50-50 the whole time. So yeah, my next video is going to be a morning routine, 3 to 6 month morning routine to be specific, because I have a baby, obviously. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to finish my cup of coffee, and I'll see you next week. Finally getting to the hairdressers at the end of the month. Well, end of April. I'm so excited. I feel like I was going to say something else.